Europe has now made some kinds of artificial intelligence illegal to build. Full stop. Not regulated, not restricted, banned. And if you cross that line, the fine can reach 7% of everything your company earns worldwide. So, what could an AI possibly do to earn a ban like that? And how did lawmakers decide exactly where to draw the line? That law is the EU AI Act, the world's first comprehensive, horizontal rulebook for artificial intelligence. Here is the puzzle its authors faced, and it is the key to understanding the whole thing. How do you write one law for a technology that reinvents itself every few months, and could be anything from a spam filter to a system that decides who gets a loan? Their answer was a single clever move. Stop regulating the technology and start regulating the risk. Once you regulate the risk instead of the tool, the structure almost writes itself. The Act sorts every AI system by one question. What could this do to a person's safety or their rights? The higher the risk, the heavier the rules. That gives you 4 rungs, from a total ban at the top, down to no new rules at all at the bottom. At the top sits unacceptable risk, a short list of uses Europe decided are simply too harmful to allow. Government-style social scoring of citizens, AI that manipulates vulnerable people into harm, scraping the internet for faces to build a surveillance database, and tracking employees' emotions at work. These are off the table, and this is the tier that carries that 7% fine. It has been in force since February 2025. 1 rung down is high risk. These uses are allowed, but only if you can prove the system is safe and fair. This is where banking lives. AI that scores someone's creditworthiness or screens job applicants sits right here. You do not get banned, but you have to show your work, with risk controls, evidence that your data is sound, logging, and a human who can actually overrule the machine. The bottom 2 rungs are light. Limited risk just means be honest. If people are talking to a chatbot, tell them, and label deepfakes and AI-generated content. And minimal risk, which is the vast majority of AI, like your spam filter or a product recommendation, gets no new rules at all. The burden matches the danger. But one thing breaks the neat pyramid: GPAI, the general-purpose models behind tools like chatbots. A model that can do almost anything does not fit into a single use case box, so the Act gives it its own separate layer of rules on top of the 4 tiers. And the most powerful ones, presumed when their training compute crosses a giant threshold, face extra duties for what regulators call systemic risk. Now, why should any of this matter outside Europe? Because the Act is extraterritorial. Just like the GDPR privacy law before it, it reaches past Europe's borders. If your AI's output is used inside the EU, you are in scope, even if your company sits in New York or Singapore. For any bank or vendor serving European customers, quietly opting out is not on the table. And it has real teeth on a clock that is already running. The bans went live in February 2025. The rules for general-purpose models followed in August 2025. And the big one, the full obligations for high-risk systems, applies from August 2026. The fines run in tiers, climbing to 7% of global turnover at the very top. Here is the part that surprises a lot of banking teams. There is no new AI police force riding in for finance. For a regulated bank, your existing supervisor, like BaFin in Germany, becomes the enforcer of the AI Act too. The people who already examine your models simply add AI compliance to the same conversation. The relationship does not change. So if you remember one thing, make it this. The EU AI Act does not care what your AI is built from. It cares what your AI does to people, and it scales the rules to match. Sort your own systems by that one question, and the whole law suddenly snaps into focus. I turned this into a 1-page map of the 4 tiers and the key deadlines, and it is free in the newsletter. Link in the description. If this finally made the AI Act click for you, subscribe, and I will keep turning the rulebook for AI and banking into something you can actually use, one topic at a time.